Happy Easter. Is your pastor trying to press your yash or does he genuinely care about you? Let's talk about it.
That intro had me totally hooked. Anyways, guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video is this very random, I would say, video I came by on TikTok, and I think a lot more people need to hear this, especially our Christian sisters, right?
There's two things you must know about spiritual predators. Number one, you are not their first victim. And number two, from the moment they met you and heard you speak or tell your story, they had already marked you. When you're dealing with predators, they don't see people as people, they see people as marks or targets. So the first thing he's going to do is test your boundaries, and he's going to do this by sharing private information that ideally you should not know about as a member of his congregation. So he might either tell you that him and his wife are having issues, or he might even go as far as telling you that him and his wife haven't had intimate relations in a while, or he might tell you that he's still struggling with certain things like pornography or having like fantasies about other women, right? But he's sharing these things with you to test your boundaries and to see how you're going to respond to it. Now, your ideal response should be, what the why are you sharing this information with me? But because you are a spiritual baddie and you're thinking, oh no, my pastor is having issues, let me not judge him, you probably say things like, oh, I'm praying for you. He has already had you locked in at that point. So the next thing he's going to do is not test your boundaries, he's going to barrel past that shit, man.
The pastor doing this or spiritual leader doing this, they're trying to see, oh, like, where this one's mind at? Are they going to be easy for me to like basically infiltrate and get a hold on? Are they going to give me a hard time? It's pretty similar to what pedophiles do when they basically serve to see what kids will be easy for them to go after. They only go after vulnerable children who they can see that, oh, maybe they are not from a stable household, kids who don't have like active parents, their parents don't seem like they really care about them like that, their parents are not scary, or if I do anything to this one, their parents probably would not even care, or their parents will not believe them. I saw a video of a convicted pedo one time where he was talking about how he picks his victims, right? And this was what he had to say. I hope I can find that clip so I can put it in this video.
How did you get them alone?
Grooming. I would check out their family situation. I would check out their clothing to see how well they were, financially. I would check out their social interaction with other kids. When we were on the ballparks or on the gym floor, I would make sure which ones I wanted to. I would give them special attention, congratulate them, talk to them when I know that I would never be allowed to talk to anybody else. Aside from everybody, I would give them the attention that an official is not supposed to give anybody, and it made them feel like, wow, he's paying me attention. It is a direct form of grooming.
Were there certain characteristics that you looked for in children before them?
In children, yes, but more I also looked at their families. If I thought the father was a threat, I would not approach the child. If I thought that the child had friends that he would tell, I would not approach him. If I thought the child had friends that were in the same capacity he was, I would approach him, for the simple fact that if I could mold him, I could lure him into grooming him into believing that he would enjoy it. And therefore, I could manipulate him into having his other friends come and be by me as well.
So perhaps a child that doesn't really have a whole lot of friends, maybe not really a strong family, things like that.
Yes, no spiritual values, weak in education, needs help in many ways, even from split parenting. Has a mother who may be having problems with the family, well, here comes superhero in to help out, wow, well, thank you very much. No problem. You ever need me to take them away for the night so you can have a night out? No problem. It works.
Predators always look for people who don't have clear boundaries. They don't have like a certain level of security. They have vulnerable to like a degree, and they come through that channel to try and have access to you. They will first test the waters for sure to see, oh, if I do this, what will happen? Can I get away with it? It's like plain manipulator predator behavior. So with the case of this pastor telling this hypothetical sister a secret, they are testing to see, oh, would they share these secrets? If you keep that kind of secret, that will mean that if anything were to happen between you guys, you would also keep that secret.
So the next thing he's going to do is not test your boundaries, he's going to barrel past that shit, man, because at that point, because you now feel bad for him and his situation, he now knows that he has your attention. Now, after he's tested your boundaries and realized that, okay, you have a soft spot and you are willing to listen to him and basically like take what he's sharing with you, the next thing he's going to do is take advantage of the information you shared either privately with him or in a group setting. So this is something that is true about a lot of charismatic and Pentecostal churches, right? They encourage you to share. Even the Bible tells you to share your sins with one another, right? So that you can get prayed for and all of that stuff, right? So it's not a bad thing to share your weaknesses with people, but when you really deep it, when you really look around the room, how many people in that room are your friends? So let's say you now reveal that, oh, your dad was not in your life, you have an absent father, or your father died when you were really young and you didn't really have a father figure, or your father was abusive. That pastor is going to lock that in his memory and is going to use it against you in very subtle ways. Now, predators are not usually overt. They are usually overt if they are psychopaths, because psychopaths don't care. But most predators are covert because they don't want you to catch on in the beginning what it is that they're doing to you, right? So they can groom you and manipulate you for a period of time, and you're not going to realize until like you're in bed with them and you're like, what the fuck, how did I get here? Yeah, it's all part of the game.
And another way they use this information that you shared with them against you is by basically blasting it on the pulpit and using it as a sermon. These people, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, I'm saying a good number of them in my experience and watching other people share their experience and the things that we've seen on social media, that's how it is. Like how this that girl, for example, that got pregnant, this is a story that happened in the USA. She got pregnant and the pastor basically embarrassed her in public in church. Like, that is something that is not supposed to be blasted out there like that in church in front of everybody, but he did that. These people, a good number of them are not confident. They are not people that you can confide in. They are weird. A good number of them. Not all, a good number of them. Which reminds me of a particular experience, an encounter I had in Keke not too long ago. This girl was basically sharing with the keke guy, the driver. I don't know if they know each other or if they just bonded while in the keke, but it was just like the three of us in this keke. I met them both in the keke. Obviously the driver was there because he's driving, so of course I would meet him there, but what I mean is I met the other lady in the keke, so it was just the three of us. This girl was basically sharing with the keke driver, and you know, it wasn't something that she was like whispering into his ear. She was talking very freely, and I have ears, functioning ears, so I heard. She was not like keeping it cool or anything. She shared with this keke driver how there was a point where she was having issues with her parents, and I think she was still in secondary school at the time. And long story short, I'm not going to go into the details of all of that, even though I heard all of the details, but I'm not going to put all of that out there. But basically, at some point in time, her parents made her go speak to the pastor, right? Because they thought she was going through like this teenage rebellious stage, right? And they thought she was doing all sorts of things with boys, and she said she was not doing anything with boys, right? But they did not believe her. But eventually, after like many drag here and drag there, her parents were able to get her to have this sit down with this man of God. And it was supposed to be like this counseling process, right? Which is weird that, you know, these unlicensed people, just because they are pastors, they'll be doing counseling and therapy work. I don't know. It's crazy. It would always be crazy to me. Boy, it happens. Moving on to the story. So she eventually had to sit down with this pastor. She was telling the pastor how everything is fine, all of the things that they were worrying about, like none of that is happening. She just don't know what's going on. Like it's just like a rough patch that they have. And this pastor was, he kept on probing and probing and probing, trying to make her say things. And he kept on telling her during this encounter that don't worry, your secret is safe with me. I'm a man of God. I would never tell anybody anything you tell me. I'm just trying to help you. You can confide in me, basically. Trust me. And eventually, after a while of the guy probing and probing and probing, she told him she had this boyfriend and all that she's done is kiss. And it's not even anything like deep or weird, or like that's the only base they've gone. And the pastor gave his advice and whatnot, and they left, only for her to go to church on Sunday. And this pastor, I'm laughing, it's not funny, it's just like I can't believe that this is a thing, and it's happened more than once. But getting to the thing, right? Only for this pastor to use her story as sermon in church on Sunday. Something that he had told her that was going to be a secret, he's never going to tell anybody, she can confide in him. He blasted everything he told her, and she shared a lot more that I don't want to add into this video, right? But basically everything this young lady had told this pastor in confidence, he blasted it on the pulpit to everybody. She said she was pissed, she felt so betrayed. But then, what to do now? He's a man of God. Who is she? She's just a little girl. She did not even have anybody to vent to. She was embarrassed. She just basically kept it to herself. And then later on, things just started getting weird after that. Weird in ways that I don't think I need to state the obvious. She said she felt so bad, she eventually just stopped going to the church. And that did not help this thing that she was having with her parents, because things just got heated at home. Her parents were coming at her, and she eventually had to move out of the house. I think she was 17, she said. She eventually had to move out of the house. No, this is insane. Her parents didn't even trust her, didn't want to listen to anything she was saying. This is how these people, what this lady was saying reminded me of that encounter, and how you cannot really, it seems, trust these people. And these people do these things because they know that you will not be able to come for them. Because of that status of pastor or man of God that they have, it basically to an extent make them untouchable. Not because they really are untouchable, but because they know that when it comes to religion, especially Christianity, there is this thing in the Bible about don't speak ill against the man of God, he's the mouthpiece of God, whatever. And so because of that, a lot of people are wary to want to speak up, because one, they know who will believe them. Two, the fear of them even getting attacked by the congregation, which happens a lot of times. They do a lot of dubious things and they continue to get away with it because the church basically protects them. Whether directly or indirectly, they do. That's why till date, a lot of people don't even believe TB Joshua's victims. When I heard her story that day, I felt so bad for the girl. These are things that people carry along with them, and it's just very sad that it's happening.
So he'll say things like, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Don't worry, I'll look out for you. Don't worry, I'll be like a father to you. I'll be your spiritual father. You can be my spiritual daughter. Don't worry, I'll be praying for you. I will act as a covering over you. And then you, because you haven't had a father figure in eons and you have been seeking that validation and attention and you just want to feel safe and protected, which is fine. You're just going to fall for it. And you're still going to feel like this person has your best interest at heart, forgetting that this is someone who shared intimate information about his marriage or his schmeck's life with you, and you really didn't have any business knowing that information. Hey. So as you're getting closer to this person who you feel has your best interest at heart, you'll find that they're going to start being very specific about what they find attractive about you. But in your head, you're like, this is weird, but it's my pastor, so I don't want to say anything. Maybe he just means well, maybe he doesn't mean anything by it, maybe that's just how he talks, or he's complimenting me. What's the big deal in him saying that I'm pretty or I'm sexy? What's the big deal? Without realizing that, again, your boundaries are being tested, and your response should actually be like, I don't feel comfortable with you commenting on my legs or my body or anything like that. But because you are fawning and you don't want to offend your pastor or make him feel like, oh, this girl can't hang, you laugh it off. You're uncomfortable, but you laugh it off. You don't think anything of it, and you just say like, okay, whatever, he's complimenting me, let me let it slide.
Which can be very dangerous to navigate around when you are a lot younger, like maybe in your teenage years, right? I mean, come on, having to deal with these people when you're an older woman, it's not even easy for most older women, right? Because again, the power dynamic and the lens at which these people are viewed as men of God, that layer, that factor, it makes it very difficult for people to actually want to maybe hands-on fight against these things, like reject advances without coming off as disrespectful. Maybe you would even be second guessing what is happening. It's weird, you are uncomfortable, but because of who this person is, it's like not easy to it's just so much going on. But if it's that difficult for an older woman, imagine what it would be like for younger women, younger girls.
Then after all your guards are down, the next thing is, hey, would you like to have dinner with me? Why are you having dinner with your pastor? Why are you having dinner with your pastor alone at 10 p.m. in a cozy restaurant? Why? Or some of them might say, okay, come and see me in my house. That's usually the older guys, like the guys in their 50s, right? So you think nothing of it because he has a wife and kids, right? But what you don't realize is that when you get to his house that day, his wife and kids have traveled to Canada or to London or to New York. So they are not around, and he intentionally planned to invite you when they were not home. Now you're in his house, and next thing you know, Pastor is rubbing your leg. Pastor is telling you how beautiful you are. Pastor is telling you that we're not committing a sin. That's what they call it. Pastor is telling you that don't worry, God will forgive us. He has grace. Grace is sufficient for us. Now, my ideal situation is that you don't go all the way and you know when to nip it in the bud. But what I will say is that if you go all the way and you're not feeling guilty after, do not report it. Because if you report it, you're going to be painted as Jezebel. You're going to be painted as an SLULT.
The pastor is not going to have to take any responsibility or accountability for nothing. You are going to be seen as this person who came to tempt him, who tried to lead the man of God astray. They will even tell you that you came to dim the man of God's light. You want to ruin his ministry. The devil sent you. Oh my goodness. And this has happened time and time again. And I totally agree with her when she said, keep it to yourself, because it's not going to go well for you. And in this case, if we're talking about the one that was or is, hypothetically speaking, the ones that are somewhat consensual, but when you bring the ones that aren't into the mix, like that's another story altogether, because that happens as well, right? When the men of God are reward their church members, that happens.
You're going to be painted as someone who came to seduce the pastor. You've collected, and now you're feeling bad because he doesn't want to pay you attention anymore. It's going to be ugly. If you want to report it, go ahead, but I'm just letting you know that there's going to be a team of men and women who are going to work really hard to ensure that that story doesn't come out, and if it does come out, you're going to be painted as the person who seduced that pastor. So this is how you can tell if your pastor genuinely cares about you or if he wants to press your bum bum.
Comment says, you will never get justice if they succeed in pressing your yansh. Stephanie Otobo and Suleiman was a classic case. Bullying takes place more in churches, 100%. Mine kissed me on Sunday morning and blew air into my mouth unprovoked, but I guess it was a part of the deliverance, in quotes, session going on. tasted the stew he ate that morning throughout service. Keep those people at arm's length. Don't let them come close, because the moment you give them an inch, it's going to be like you opening the door for the devil, basically. I mean, I don't believe in the devil, but you get what I mean. What are your thoughts, guys? Maybe your experiences as well. If you are willing to share, let us know down below in the comment section. Let's continue this conversation there. Thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, I'll be catching you in the next one. Bye.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me.